seen anything of Hobbins?
What do you want him for?
To mend a pipe in the power plant.
Can't you fix it yourself?
I wouldn't dare.
Well, I haven't seen Hobbins all day. He's probably busy.
Come on, Joey. Oh no! Joey must have forgotten he'd changed shells. I hope his board isn't broken. I ought to move that trash. It's too heavy to carry. What's through that door?
It's off limits to the likes of you.
I just wondered where it leads.
It's the old cathedral. There's nothing interesting in there. In fact, it's empty.
Why guard an empty cathedral?
I'm not guarding it exactly. I'm just standing here.
Preventing me from entering.
Yes.
Do you know the woman with the dog?
Oh yes, that's Mrs. Piermont. The richest woman in Union City. And the ugliest.
What's the best way out of the city?
There isn't a way out.
Then the inhabitants are no better than prisoners.
That's the price of progress.
Never mind. A pallet of bricks suspended from a pulley. It's pivoted in the middle, like a seesaw. Far too heavy to lift. That's too big and heavy to carry. Hello, who are you?
My name's Vincent. What's yours?
I'm Robert. You can call me Rob. Why aren't you at school, Vincent?
My tutor's malfunctioned. I tried to reprogram it to play video games.
Would you like me to repair your tutor?
I can do that myself. But then I'd have to go back to my studies.
What's that you're playing with?
It's my handheld games console.
Neat. What's the game?
It's called Fleecy the Lamb.
That sounds nice. What's the objective?
torched the mutant psychos with your flamethrower, and stopped onto Mantis from butchering the orphans.
But that's horrible.
Yeah, I've played better.
What other games have you got?
Not many, 'cause they're too expensive. They're smuggled into the city from Hobart. I've got Nobby, the platform game, Onan the Barbarian, and Revenge of the Deadly Dandelions.
I suppose they keep you out of mischief. Do you know a man called Overman?
No, Rob. Why do you want to know?
He's my dad.
Aren't you a little old to have a dad?
Last time I saw him, I was a little boy. I was taken away to the Gap.
The Gap? Oh, wow! I'd like to escape to the Gap. I'm tired of being told what to do.
Do you know the woman with the dog?
That's Mrs. Piermont, and she's a pig.
That's not a very nice thing to say.
Well, she tried to confiscate my console. She gave me a lecture and tried to force me to join the Junior Security Corps.
Don't wear out your thumbs. Excuse me.
Smart floral display. Are they real? What do you think?
They look kind of shiny.
Naturally. I've just varnished them.
Do you paint the flowers too?
This is Union City, not Wonderland. You obviously know nothing about plants.
Won't the varnish harm the plants?
Au contraire, Clever Dick. It filters out the crap in the atmosphere.
What are you doing to that plant?
I'm modelling a living sculpture. It's called topiary, and it's an art form.
What are those blue flowers called?
They're dandelions. Don't touch them!
They're pretty. But why can't I touch them?
Because if you do, you'll wet your bed.
I haven't done that for months. See you later. Excuse me.
Hello, darling. I don't believe we've met.
No, I'm a stranger here.
I'm Mrs. Piermont, but you can call me Danielle.
How do I get out of the city?
Now, why would you want to do that? There's nothing in the Gap but sand and savages.
But that's where I live.
Oh, how ghastly for you, my dear.
Do you know someone called Overman?
Why, yes, I do. He worked with my husband, Professor Piermont. Why? Are you interested in Overman?
He was my father.
I'm sorry, but I don't believe you. Overman's only son died in an accident.
That was no accident, Mrs. Piermont. It was deliberate sabotage by security. My mother was killed, but I survived. And I've read a document which proves it.
Incredible! Your mother was a great friend to me. If there's any way I can help you, just ask.
What's the mutt's name?
Well, really? He's not a mutt. His name is Spunky.
He looks just like his owner.
What do you mean by that?
He's really cute and fluffy.
Flattery will get you nowhere, young man.
Never mind. The door has an old-fashioned lock on it. I need a key to open that. Excuse me.
Hold it. Your membership card, please.
I don't have one.
This is a private club.
Oh, I didn't know that.
You do now. Piss off.
How do I join the club?
You have to be sponsored by an existing member. It's a most exclusive establishment. Frequented only by those with the proper credentials.
You mean people with money?
No, people with credit. There's a world of difference. People with money think they can afford not to care. People with credit know they can't, but don't care anyway.
What goes on in the club?
If I was to tell you that this club provides recreational facilities par excellence for a clientele with elegance and taste, I'd be lying through my teeth.
You just said it was exclusive.
Oh, it is exclusive, but seedy. The reason people come here is the cheap booze, and the fact that it's off limits to security.
Smart shoes.
Oh, thanks. You can tell a lot from a man's shoes. The design tells you what kind of man he is. The way he cares for them tells you where he's going.
And what he's trodden in tells you where he's been. Do you know anyone who'd sponsor me?
What about old widow Piermont? She used to come here, years ago. If you chatted her up, she might sponsor you.
See you later. Court closed. See link for news of forthcoming attractions. Doors are unremarkable, but this one has a certain je ne sais pas. Shut tight. The big guy's sacks are spilling their contents. Excuse me. Would you sponsor me for the club?
If you're really Robert Overman, I'll sponsor you. But I don't want to visit the club. I'll call the manager from my apartment. Oh, come to Mummy, Spunky. Oh, come to Mummy, Spunky.
It's the call button for an apartment.
Hello. Who is this?
It's me, Robert.
Come right in, Rob. Welcome to my humble little home, Robert.
You know, I remember you as a baby, Robert.
I've grown a bit since then.
I'm sure you have. You must have so many questions to ask me.
Yes, I have. What was the professor working on?
Didn't I tell you? Helmut was the designer of Link. It was his dream, but he died before it was realized. Your father became the project leader.
So my dad was responsible for Link?
Yes, he stepped into Helmut's shoes. Link reached completion on the very day you were born. From then on, Richard changed. He spent more time with Link than he did with his wife and baby.
Why did my mother try to escape?
But she did her best to cope. But she wasn't the same after Richard's rejection. The authorities never approved of her marriage either, because she came from Hobart. Eventually, she decided to return home.
So the bastards had her killed.
You're overwrought, Robert. Would you like some paracetamol?
I don't want analgesic. I want answers. Is my father still alive?
I've not seen him since my husband's funeral. What a magnificent occasion. I wish I could have stayed until the end.
You walked out of your husband's funeral?
I had no choice. Poor Spunky hates cathedrals. All that incense and droning makes him bilious. No sooner had I got him outside than up came his breakfast.
It's a good thing he didn't chuck in church.
Don't interrupt, darling. Well, when I got back, they were all gone. Congregation, choir, coffin and all.
Why didn't you want to visit the club?
The memories are too painful.
Did you go there with the professor?
Yes, we met in a club. Oh, he was a handsome young graduate. And I was a flower in my first bloom. He plucked me from the garden of innocence.
I see what you mean. The memories are painful. Are you gonna sponsor me now?
If that's what you want. I'll telephone the manager and make the arrangements. This won't take a moment. Is that Mr. Coulston? Danielle Piermont here. I have a friend I wish to sponsor.
It's an ancient Greek statue made of fiberglass. It's full of biscuits and dog drool. If I pick up the bowl, the contents will slop all over my hands. Now that looks comfortable. It's an old trick, but it still works. They're for cutting and pruning plants. It has a list of names with little buttons beneath. The mechanism has rusted solid. It's an old map, but it means nothing to me. It's pivoted in the middle, like a seesaw. These shears are too blunt to cut the stems.
What was that splashing noise? Where has Spunky gone? Officer Blunt, come and help me, quickly!
Just for a second, you scared me. But you're only dummies. They're not human. Someone's been making androids. They must have switches to activate them somewhere. Damned if I'm gonna look for them, though. There aren't any markings on it, or locks. You don't look so healthy. You should get out in the sunshine. His skin is cold, like plastic. There aren't any markings. This place is spooky. His skin is cold, like plastic. Oh no, not her, not Anita. Her skin is burnt and blistered. She appears to have been exposed to radiation. He doesn't have any eyelashes. His skin is cold, like plastic. Yo, that's horrible. I don't think a severed head would be any use. There could be something useful in there. Wouldn't you know it? It's locked. It's a kind of bed with wheels. The wheels are locked in place. A ventilation shaft. Better keep away from the edge, or I'll get sucked off. There's a small monitor screen and some knobs. The power in those things gives me the willies. Excuse me. What can you tell me about the council?
I used to think they did a great job. But since they promoted Lamb, I've had my doubts.
Never mind. Hey, Lamb. What do you know about Anita's death?
I don't know what you're talking about.
The girl you sent to the reactor. She's been killed, Lamb.
Look, I don't know aught about murder. You might think I was hard on the lass, but I had nothing to do with her death.
It's the Link Internet. I don't like the look of it at all.
Back to you, Rob. Listen carefully. You're the only one who can help. I was supposed to make contact with an agent from Hobart. Trouble is, the rendezvous was in a park on ground level. And now I'm a dealing, I can't get there. The agent's name is Eduardo. I don't know how you'll get to Link, but beneath the city there are tunnels. The remains of the old subway. That could be a way in.
Excuse me.
Hello, Mr. Overman.
How did you know my name?
You're a member now, sir. It's my business to know all our members.
Can I go in now?
Certainly. But you're in for a disappointment.
How come?
It looks smart with the lights turned low, but in daylight, it's a flipping toilet.
Do you know anything about a subway?
I've dreamed about them.
Really?
First of all, I'm swimming around like... Then I get sucked up this long tunnel. It's all wet and warm, you know?
I was talking about a real subway. What would you do if you found a body?
Go through its pockets.
No, seriously. A girl I know has been murdered.
It's a sign of the times. There's nothing as cheap as human life. With the exception of this club. How do you know it was murder?
I only met her a few hours ago. And she was fine then.
My advice is to keep quiet. You can't help her now, so look after yourself. Or you might wake up dead one morning.
Never mind. Excuse me. Can I have a drink, please?
No chance.
Why not?
Nice rules.
Excuse me. Hi. Mind if I join you?
Well, hello yourself. They call me Babs.
Pleased to meet you. Is there a subway around here?
Oh, there used to be. The club was named after the station.
Where is the subway station?
You're standing in it. See the area in front of the stage. The track ran right through there.
There's no sign of a lock or a card slot. Pressing the buttons doesn't achieve anything. The select button isn't lit.
Never mind.
Hi. Mind if I join you?
Good afternoon to you, Mr. Overman. What do you think of the club?
The bartender won't serve me.
That's because you're a probationary member. Don't blame Barry. He's only doing his job. The liquor laws have been tightened since last year's Babysham riots.
Hey, get on with the game, Colston.
All right, no need to get excited. I'm Colston, the manager of the club.
Pleased to meet you. Central, High Green, Museum, and St. James. They must be the names of the old subway stations. It's a map of the subway. which means I'm getting close to Link. Excuse me. See you later. Tell me about your dandelion game.
Ah, it's brilliant. You get chased by these giant yellow weeds.
You mean dandelions are yellow? The gardener told me they were blue.
He's mad. He's not a real gardener.
How'd you know the gardener is a fake?
He's got green fingers.
That's the sign of a naturally talented gardener.
I saw him dipping them in the paint. Anyway, the plants are made of plastic.
You're a real help, Vincent.
No problem, Rob.
Know where I'd find the old subway?
Nah, I've never heard of it.
I thought all boys were into railways.
Get real. What planet are you on?
Sometimes I wonder. Don't wear out your thumbs. Excuse me. You told me dandelions were blue.
Did I? Well, what of it?
This boy assures me they're yellow.
Ugh, smart-assed little brat. All right, you got me sussed. I haven't had any formal training, but I've always dreamed of being a gardener. I love 'em, every little shrub and succulent. Those dainty blossoms waving their little stamens in the breeze.
All right, I get the point.
You won't report me, will you?
Why should I do that? Excuse me. Do you know a girl called Anita?
Maybe I do, maybe I don't. Why do you want to know?
She's been murdered. I found her body in the cathedral.
Can't see why you're telling me.
Excuse me. What's your name?
It's Eduardo. Why?
You're Anita's contact, right?
How come you know so much?
She left a message on her card.
Listen, do you know what's happened to Link?
I'm totally confused.
Link is a living, self-replicating organism. Originally, it served as an advisor to the council, but it has gradually taken control.
How? And why?
We're really not sure. Hobart scientists have developed a virus. It will check Link's growth, if we can get it into the system.
Will you give me the virus?
I can't. It's been downloaded to Link Space. Anita was supposed to retrieve it, since she had a Shrievman port.
So have I. I owe it to Anita to get that virus.
No chance. It's bound to be guarded.
I can try at least. Excuse me. See you later.
Silence in court. Security Services, Department of Justice, Inc. Judge Chutney presiding. Court is now in session.
Silence! I recognize that villain. An habitual criminal if ever I saw one.
That's Mr. Greaves, my lord. The counsel for the prosecution.
Silence when you speak to me. Now, who is the first contestant?
Defendant, my lord. The case of Union Security Services versus Howard Hobbins.
Howard Hobbins, come on up. Nice to see you, Howard. You're not nervous, are you?
Not really.
The defendant is accused of gross contempt and assault of a security officer.
Oh, intolerable. What have you got to say for yourself, eh?
I've been framed, Your Honour. May I elucidate, my lord?
Go on then, but hurry up about it.
Officer Blunt was investigating a complaint made against Hobbins. After questioning the defendant, he was the victim of an assault.
Ah! Monstrous! Off with his head!
Just a flipping minute. Who's defending me?
Defence? Is he entitled to any?
I'm afraid so, my lord.
On my soul, whatever next? Who'd be silly enough to defend this wretch? Very well, let's get on with round one. Fingers on the buzzers, everyone.
I wish to call Officer Blunt.
Call Officer Blunt!
Please tell the court what happened. I was assaulted. And is the culprit present in the court? That's him in the overalls. I rest my case, my lord.
Good. Where's my black cap?
We haven't heard the defence, my lord.
Is it really necessary? Oh, go on. Just don't take all day.
Now then, Officer Blunt. What was the nature of your injuries?
I got very wet.
But you didn't suffer any physical harm.
I could have caught a nasty cold.
Tell the court how you got wet.
While patrolling on Bellevue, I was saturated by a sudden shower.
Did you ascertain its source?
Oh, yeah. I heard laughter from the walkway above.
That would be the factory walkway.
That's right.
Who lodged the complaint against Hobbins?
Objection, my lord. Defense is contriving to lead the witness.
It was a simple question. I wish to establish the seriousness of the complaint made against my client.
I shall permit the witness to answer. However, I'm awarding Mr. Greaves 5 points for a well-timed interruption.
So who did lodge the complaint?
It was Daniel Piermont.
What was Mrs. Piermont's grievance?
Cruelty to her pet dog. I interviewed Hobbins on 4 occasions, but he still hasn't confessed.
Did you examine the dog?
I tried to.
And?
The bugger bit me.
No further questions, Your Honor. I wish to call Mrs. Piermont.
Call Mrs. Piermont.
Hello, darling. Hello, Robin. Hello, everyone.
Silence in court.
What was your complaint against Hobbins?
He was abused, my little poochie poos.
Disgraceful. I haven't had a dog abuse case since the infamous Spaniel Mangle scandals.
Did you witness the alleged attack?
Not exactly.
Then how did you know about it? Did the dog tell you?
Officer Blunt reported the incident to me.
How would you describe your pet dog?
Objection, Your Honor. This is a trial, not a dog show.
Objection overruled, Mr. Greaves. I want to get to the bottom of this doggy business.
He's an absolute darling. Everyone adores him.
But Officer Blunt said it bit him.
Oh, that would be the uniform. He was mauled by a troop of scouts when he was a puppy.
Had you met Hobbins before this incident?
I don't recall ever seeing him. But one takes little notice of mere maintenance men.
No further questions, Your Honor. I'd like to question the defendant. Did you assault Officer Blunt?
Objection, my lord.
Why, man, what's wrong?
Repetition, my lord?
Objection overruled.
Are you guilty of assault, Howard?
Not me. I was fixing one of the cooling pipes, and it burst.
So Blunt's soaking was an accident?
Not exactly.
Why did the pipe burst?
Some joker had cut a power cable and overloaded the steam release in the power station. That's what damaged the cooling pipe.
Oh, I see. Did you laugh at Blunt's predicament?
Laugh? I'd nearly wet me pants.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Mr. Greaves, you may start the bonus round.
The facts speak for themselves, my lord. Hobbins is a cruel and callous man, with no respect for law and order. I recommend the maximum possible sentence.
Any comments from the defense?
I don't believe this is happening. This is total madness. You've all been warped in some way. And I think Link is the cause.
Silence! I've heard quite enough of this nonsense. So it's time for me to make my judgment. Howard Hobbins, you've won tonight's star prize. Life imprisonment. However, in view of your service to the city, I'm going to reduce your sentence. 2 hours community service Court dismissed.
Hey, music lover. If you're looking for the best in sound, I got 'em. The music of the spheres right here on Earth. So come on, get your fingers on my buttons. Let's make beautiful music together.
How offensive! Why they put voices in these machines is beyond me.
I'm all warmed up for you, baby.
Shut up and let me check the selections. Oh, Lord, it's mostly country and western.
Nobody's perfect.
Ah, there are 3 tunes by the Resident Band.
So, what's your choice, big boy?
You search but find nothing. Excuse me. Thanks again for the port, Doc.
It's a pleasure to do business with you.
Excuse me. Can you match my fingerprints to those on this glass?
Oh, yes. My machine will do that automatically.
It's not against the law, is it?
Whatever gave you that idea?
Don't security use them to check people's identities?
If they do, it's the first time I've heard of it. The usual procedure for identification of suspects is a retina scan at the post-mortem. Now, about these prints you requested. Open the panel on my machine and insert the glass. Then place your hands in the otodermatome.
Will this hurt, Doc?
Oh, yes. Quite considerably.
There's no sign of a lock or a card slot. There's a thumb-sized indentation in the plate. It's a big box made of wood. It's made of thin chipboard. If it's for ventilation, it must lead somewhere. It's a solid wooden storage rack for wine bottles. That's too big and heavy to carry. I can't reach it from here. The grill is too firmly attached to pull from the wall. The grill is too firmly attached to pull from the wall. The subway. It's like a warren built by giant rabbits. The roof of the tunnel must have collapsed. I'm never going to be able to shift all that. There's something in there. Something horrible. I can't reach. The box isn't strong enough to... The grill is too firmly attached to pull from the wall. The subway. It's like a warren built by giant rabbits. It's an old advertisement for Anchor Insurance. I wonder if Anchor's grandfather was a complete zero, too. It's the station's name, Museum. Uh-oh, the tunnel roof doesn't look too stable. That thing's alive! I wonder what it is. It's warm and throbbing with a tough skin. The skin is too hard to cut. There's no obvious way of opening it. I can't slide it, push it, or pull it. That patch of plaster looks damp and crumbly. I can't quite reach it. I've exposed the bricks beneath the plaster. The mortar holding those bricks has crumbled away. I can't quite reach it. The skin's too tough to tear with my fingers. The outer skin is stretched and weakened. The skin is too hard to cut. It's penetrated the outer skin. The outer skin is stretched and weakened. The skin's too tough to tear with my fingers. It's penetrated the outer skin. Ugh! I made a hole right through the vein! There's no way of turning it off. It's a medical robot. It doesn't operate manually. It's the controls for opening the cover. It holds the grill secure. It's probably a ventilation grill. It's probably a ventilation grill. It's recharging itself at the power supply. They don't appear to do anything. I've got a hunch I'll need to open that. No way of opening it. The screen displays the medical robot's status.
Hello. I was not expecting a visitor. Allow me to introduce myself.
We've already met several times.
I am known as Walter, and I am the future.
You're not human, are you?
Now, whatever gave you that idea? I'm obviously not a machine, or an animal. In fact, I differ little from you.
You're talking of a future designed by Link?
Certainly. It was not Link itself. Designed by your own fathers.
What are Link's plans for the real humans?
We are all members of the same family. We can coexist quite peacefully until they disappear through natural wastage.
What do you mean, natural wastage?
Following the sterilization program, the old humans will slip quietly into extinction. But you need have no concern for the well-being of the human race, or for the future, come to that, since you have no future.
How do you feel, Joe?
I'm completely operational, and all my circuits are functioning perfectly.
That's a relief. Is there any immediate danger?
If your presence here is detected, termination is more than likely.
Are there any other humans in this area?
Negative.
What about the guy in the tank room?
Negative. The technician is an android. I advise you to avoid contact with it.
Are you really the Joey I grew up with? You don't sound like him.
That is unavoidable. My shell has a limited syntactic processor.
Oh well. At least you're not so argumentative.
Please be more specific.
I want a detailed report on everything. Especially that android.
The android could be dangerous.
Exactly. I don't want to risk my neck. That's where the medical robot gets its power. It's activated by the robot's presence. Give me a report on the tank room.
The growth tanks contain developing androids. Nourishment is supplied from a tank. The temperature is maintained by convection from an underground source. Access to the growth tanks is not possible. access to the computer is denied. The tank contains chemicals on which the androids feed.
So, without it, they'd die?
Affirmative.
Is there a way of draining the tank?
Manual evacuation is achieved by opening a tap.
That will distract the android technician. Never mind. No way of opening it. They don't appear to do... The cover must regulate the heat from below. Bubbling, boiling lava. Boy, that's hot! It obviously opens like an iris. It's being... Pulling the handle has loosened the grill. The grill will fall if it's stepped on.
Hello! I was not expecting a visitor.
Humans 1, androids 0. It looks like the stuff that lamb eats. It's sticky and slightly astringent, making my fingers tingle. It's letting the chemical goo seep out. I can't reach the tap without stepping in the puddle. No obvious explanation. There aren't any manual controls. There's a weird fetus thing floating in it. Whoever said babies were cute? The casing is thin, but very hard. Never mind. It's a foul-smelling chemical soup. It's displaying some info. They're linked to surveillance cameras.
You've saved me the bother of coming to find you.
I should have guessed you were part of all this.
Why do you think Reich had to die when he tried to kill you? Or that meddling girl who tried to help you escape? Link needs you alive, Overman. That's why it planned this family reunion.
Get out while you can, Rob.
Tell me what you want from me!
You won't be needing this robot where you're going.
Aha! Another ID card from my collection. It's an android. It wasn't Joey's lucky day. Poor Joey didn't last long in that shell. I'll take his board as a memento. Whatever's in there is extremely cold. It could be liquid nitrogen. is controlling the tank and displaying its readings on the monitor. There are strands of tissue suspended in this tank. Ha! The virus has caused the program to crash. A computer for each of these androids. There's an expansion port in the cabinet. A computer for each of these androids. It's a fully formed android body. Hey, wake up, rubber features! The cabinet. A computer. How do you feel, Joey?
I'm not entirely sure, sir. I feel soft and curiously vulnerable.
That's because you're practically human.
And this feeling of insecurity is natural?
Oh yeah, you'll get used to it.
By the way, sir, take my advice. Don't wake the other androids.
Why not?
If they've been programmed, they'll terminate you.
Thanks for saving me from the android.
My actions were the only logical course. What I cannot comprehend is how an android could behave in such an irrational manner. Why, it was almost as if he was human.
What did he mean by a family reunion?
Since your mother was killed, that leaves only
my father.
You never speak of him, do you?
That's because I can't remember him.
Can't or won't, sir?
I think you need a new name, Joey.
I concur with your observation, Mr. Foster. What do you consider an appropriate sobriquet?
I'm gonna call you Ken.
That's wonderful news, sir. Tell me, are there any memorable Kens in history? A Ken whom I might seek to emulate?
All the Kens I can think of were dorks.
Splendid! It will be my mission in life to make the name Ken synonymous with dorks.
How do you like your new body?
It's wonderful, sir. There's just one thing.
What's that?
When will I be getting the accessories?
I don't know what you mean.
Ears, body hair, those little decorative parts?
You're better off without them, believe me. Are we close to Link's core?
Almost certainly, sir. I can sense its presence in a strange and mysterious way.
Like the old man, the pictures in the campfire. He saw it too, the evil beneath the city. And then he died with the rest of the tribe.
This isn't the time for remorse, sir. You must...
It's storage. For what, I couldn't guess. I'm obviously supposed to put my hand on that. That tickles. Place your hand on that lock sensor.
With pleasure, sir.
Let's try that hand sensor again.
I suggest we touch the sensors simultaneously, sir.
That tickles.
Excuse me, you're blocking my path.
Let's try that hand sensor again.
I suggest we touch the sensors simultaneously, sir.
Hey, Rubber Man! What's wrong with you?
I appear to have a problem, sir. My hand has melted onto the door.
I don't like to leave you here.
I'll be free in no time, sir. Have you got an axe?
No, I haven't. Why?
You could have used it to sever my hand.
That's unthinkable. Still stuck?
I'm afraid so, sir. It's frustrating, to say the least.
Never mind. It's what keeps the pipes in place. Completely solid. They serve as a ladder. There aren't any controls on the spout. It's supplying nourishment to that organism. It's sucking and stretching out for nourishment. That's the last place I want to end up. The tissue is frozen now. Yes, I've poisoned the sludge. This could be the second most stupid thing I've ever done. Father?
Is that Robert? Oh, my son. Why did you come here?
I thought you'd be glad to see me.
I did everything I could to stop you. You're in terrible danger. Get away.
I'm taking you with me. How do I disconnect you from the machine?
Listen to me. Link needs a replacement for my brain. And the best choice was someone related by blood. It sent Reich and his goons to bring you here. Link killed Reich when he threatened you.
But if Link wanted me alive, why did it wreck the helicopter?
That was my doing, Robert. I managed to wrest control from Link for a few seconds, long enough to cause the crash. I hope to spare you my fate, Robert.
Ken, you're just in time.
I thought you might need a hand, sir. I've got a bad feeling about this, sir.
What happened, Father?
Link has rejected me. And without it, I'll die.
Father,
Tell me what to do.
It's too late, Robert. Link has beaten us both.
Are you all right, sir?
Do I look all right? Help!
Mr. Foster?
Foster is no more. I am Link. I am the future. Yes, I've poisoned the sludge. This could be the second most stupid thing I've ever done. Father?
Is that Robert? Oh, my son. Why did you come here?
I thought you'd be glad to see me.
I did everything I could to stop you. You're in terrible danger. Get away.
I'm taking you with me. How do I disconnect you from the machine?
Listen to me. Link needs a replacement for my brain. And the best choice was someone related by blood. It sent Reich and his goons to bring you here. Link killed Reich when he threatened you.
But if Link wanted me alive, why did it wreck the helicopter?
That was my doing, Robert. I managed to wrest control from Link for a few seconds. Long enough to cause the crash. I hope to spare you my fate, Robert.
Ken, you're just in time.
I thought you might need a hand, sir. I've got a bad feeling about this, sir.
What happened, Father?
Link has rejected me. And without it, I'll die.
Are you all right, sir?
Do I look all right? Help!
Mr. Foster?
Foster is no more. I am Link. I am the future. Help me, quickly!
What do you want me to do, sir?
Shut down the machine.
Do you think that's advisable, sir? The Link computer controls everything in the city. A shutdown could be catastrophic.
Help me, quickly!
What do you want me to do, sir?
Sit in that chair.
Are you going to plug me into Link, sir? I hope you know what you're doing. Something is happening, I think. Yes, I'm gaining control. I found my destiny, Mr. Foster.